All right, on this episode of Being a Man, I have two guests with me. One you all are familiar with by name of Champ. The other is my brother from another, DJ Calhoun. Fellas, say what's up.
What
What
up?
up, man?
All
What up?
right,
What up?
so it's been a minute since our schedules, like, look, we all have professions. Champ, I know he's in a different time zone. DJ's in a different state. I'm in a different state, so our schedules be kind of not working together. So luckily for this occasion, it is. But since the last time we've been here on the episode, something that popped up in my mind recently is the word peace. And I'm an overthinker. A lot of people are overthinkers. So I like to know the different aspects of when a person hears the word peace, what comes to their mind. So I would like to start with DJ, since everyone is not familiar with you. When you heard the word peace, what comes?
Man, taking a seat. It's something I actually had to deal with like a lot last year. So coming into this year, that's something I'm actually focusing on a lot. Just being a man, taking on manhood and different aspects of stuff. Just dealing with certain situations. So taking a seat. Sometimes like your peace requires you to sit down. Like I know as men, we all do this thing where we have to take care of like everything in the household. You got to take care of whatever it is, from a job to a family to kids and different things like that. But it's like sometimes peace means actually taking a break from that. Like a day of sitting down doesn't mean that everything is gonna fall apart in front of you. Like you have to be able to understand, like, hey, I might have to put this on autopilot for a second so I can sit down and regroup and reset. We not Kevin Gates. We do get tired. So peace to me is always just being at peace with yourself, really. Just finding that space in yourself. Like you can't expect somebody else to bring you that peace all the time. So being able to recognize when you need a moment to take a seat and really reevaluate what you're doing, your situation, your background, what you got going on, and be able to sit down and just regroup your mind.
Hey man, I really like that response, man. Like you put into perspective some things and even made me think about something else. But yeah, I appreciate that response. Champ, what?
Man, for peace, for me, is truly just finding your inner peace. Like, once you're at peace with yourself, you can be at peace with the world. Being in different situations, being under stress, being under trying to be a father, being a husband, uh, being a student, working, doing all these different things, you have to take our time and just find your inner peace at times, just so you can, hey, let yourself know, hey, you got this. Just relax. Everything's gonna work out. And for me, recently, for the past year or so, couple of years, I've just been instead of just being so high strung and so high maintenance and so stressed out. Hey, like Mel Robbins said, let it be, let it be, and that's truly my peace. Just letting everything fall where it's gonna fall because it's gonna happen. It's already written. So
Hey, much respect, much respect. So, man, like even as you guys are giving your responses, man, like, yeah, I mean, this is the first episode back probably in almost over a year, because I mean, you know, it's gonna happen up over time. I'll talk about, it, but up over the year, like you guys know, sure, a lot has been happening with me in my life. But the previous episodes we've had, or even I've done alone, we discussed. The first episode was dealing with grief, and we just fresh up out of the holidays. Some people have had to deal with grief recently. When we talked about trauma, like in the past year, like it's like I've came across so many people and dealt with so many people who are still living within their trauma, not knowing how to manage it. So when I came across the word peace over this past weekend, like I can truly say that I am at peace. And that doesn't mean being at peace all the time. It's basically not letting anything disturb you or disrupt what you have going on. Like, yeah, so like we are men, we're fathers, we're husbands, we're brothers, like we're uncles, like we're role models, like we work with a job, like we have jobs, like we have people looking up to us. And unfortunately, being a man, it's a double entendre. Like the shit is unfair. I'm just gonna say it. Like God mentioned, a father doesn't know his worth until he's gone because we're looked at to be the breadwinners. We're looked at to be the ones that have to have it together. And I appreciate you guys because you guys are a part of my peace. Like, if something is going crazy within my life or within you guys' life, like we are able to come together to, hey man, it's not as bad as it may seem or you may think. But also to truly have peace is to know and realize when things get shaken up or dominoes start falling to actually sit down, take a minute, be grounded whatever your faith may be, whether you refer to it as God or the Most High, how do you look at getting things back on track? Like, I find myself now, like, truly being at peace is when certain thoughts come in my head that I know are not me. Like, I can really laugh at it and like I just pray up because I know that's not a part of me. That's not a part of my peace, and that's not a peaceful energy that's coming to light. So even a lot of times people are not as grounded as us or have the foundation that we have, whether it's from upbringing, whether it's from brotherhood, whether it's like having a sister, a mother, aunt, whoever, because like I said, we all have dealt with grief. We all have dealt with trauma, but it's how you manage those things and what brings you back to your absolute peace, like your peaceful mind state. Like DJ, even going back to what you said, like sitting down, bro. Like, like,
Like last year, man, I was road running. I was doing a lot, so I had to realize, like in the middle of the year, there was a time where I had to take a sit down. Like I really had to take a sit down. I had to turn everything off. I had to disconnect from a lot of things, from a lot of people. So it's one of those things where sometimes, like that realization comes from within. You start stretching yourself thin, and you start realizing, oh snap, you know what? Hey, this might be a breaking point. You realize that you're lashing out at everything. You're getting offended by everything. Anything somebody say to you, you like, this not me. Hold on, what's going on? You have to sit down, take an inventory of all your own thoughts, and say, you know what? Let me take a seat. And in that piece, sometimes you start to find out what can be put on autopilot and what can't. The things that you've been stressing over, there's certain things that you don't have to stress over. Like there's certain stuff. Once you sit down, you go, hey, man, I've been tripping about this, and everything actually worked out fine. It's like I've been tripping about it and taking up most of my brain space with it. Man, you mess around and take up months, years over something that you realize it really wasn't even as important as what you were trying to make it. And most of that with men is trying to make something that important. So a lot of that is there's a lot of piece where it's like stuff that's stressing you out or really taking you down through there might be something that you're inflicting on yourself. Like I've learned that in life very heavily. Like there's a lot of stuff people tell me all the time, bro. It'd be like chaos going on. They'd be like, DJ, why you so calm? It's like, hey, bro, it's certain things I can't control. It's certain things that you cannot control, and you have to understand that as a man, yes, you are the provider, the protector of everything in your realm or whatever, but at the same time, you can't control everything. You have to relinquish some of that strength to let that kind of autopilot itself and bring itself back to you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. Like I totally agree, man. Like I tell my wife all the time. Like I got her a book. It's called Let Them, and it was just like one day I was just listening to like this motivational podcast, and this woman was just speaking about her and her husband's like $800,000 in debt. She was got denied her credit cards, got declined at the grocery store, and her older daughter was like, "Hey, just let it be, just let it be." And I read the book, and I'm like, you know what? I'm finna just let everything be. I'm finna just let everything be because if you cannot control it, it's no use you stressing over it. Just hey, let it roll off your back because at the end of the day, it's gonna work itself out. There's no need to sit up and have an internal struggle with yourself, causing yourself mental stress and these stress induced health related problems. The best thing for you to do is just let some things be and truly find yourself. Be honest with yourself, and within that honesty, just find your peaceful ground. If it's playing games or spending time with your kids, going out shopping, reading, being on TikTok, doing whatever you want to do. Like, hey, just find your peace. Like me, for me, myself is playing games and hey, doing work, dog. Like work is peace to me sometimes because it's getting me away from the stress at home sometimes, or getting me from the stress of the world. And you're just in your own little world. You know exactly what you need to do, and you accomplish your goal. Hey, every time you accomplish a goal, it's like a little euphoric feeling in your body. Like, yep, got it done. Good. Yeah, and that's the best thing to do, man. Just find your peace and find your way in the world. Don't allow anybody else to make you lose your religion or your peace.
I mean, that's definitely true. And man, even like this is stuck in my head. That's crazy that DJ like mentioned it and referenced it when now it's a part of like my own philosophy. Like understand that a lot of times like your peace comes from within and it's what you put on yourself. Like I even think back to like my upbringing. Like I put so much on myself being the baby out of all my siblings. Like my brother was known as being an athlete, and my sister she was known for her smarts. And here I was thinking to myself like, shoot, I can't give my mom nothing, short than what she is used to from her older two kids. So I pushed myself, but like not once did my siblings ever come to me and say, "Hey, Jeremiah, like you have to do this. Like you gotta do this. Like this isn't an option." And like I push myself, like, and sometimes like what helps me slow down is, or what would help, because I slow down a whole lot, thank God. But was people, it's an eye opener when people see so much in you and tell you what they have seen you do, and you be like, oh, well, you made me feeling like, oh, I'm not doing enough. And others looking at it like, you have done so much more and beyond. And even go back to what DJ said, like even like my philosophy now, like man, like whatever I've been through, gone through, especially within the past year or within life, like I can get mad about something that I cannot control. I cannot control another person's behavior. I cannot control another person's thought process. All I can control is me. What have I done? What I didn't do? What I could have done, or whatever. And that's why I'm so much at peace right now because I've got through those like negative talks or just thinking less than. Like you can be comfortable with where you are because you and you control your destiny. Like and somebody else, whatever they say, do, it doesn't have an impact on you. Like you have to totally, as DJ said, like sit down. I'm just gonna say, like sometimes you gotta sit your ass down. Like that's what I love so much about now, like doing Legos. Like a person could say, okay, that looks childish, but man, like even a simple hobby like that, paying attention to details, focusing in and zooming in on something so minor that it forces you to calm down your breathing. Like it's a coping mechanism. And crazy thing is, that was my lesson today with my students. Like, yo, how can you deal with certain things when you feel so overwhelmed? And it's like, taking a deep breath, like really analyzing, looking at situations. And that is one way that we can keep our peace. So yeah.
Gotta be clear minded. Finding peace is more than just, hey, today was a good day. Nah, it's like you need to make every day a good day, as well as making sure something that happened for 5 minutes doesn't ruin a whole 24 hours. So yeah, I was upset. Yeah, I might have been upset at 9:30 this morning, but that doesn't affect me at 5:30 in the afternoon because that was 5 minutes. My day still went on. I still got stuff I got to do tomorrow. My day still goes on. My week still happens. The month still goes by. So understanding how to handle certain situations as a man, there's certain aggression that you have to put to the side, like that whole boys don't cry or guys got to show that toughness or this, that, and the third. Man, when you get to a certain age, like that don't matter no more. It doesn't matter anymore. Being the tough guy, doing this, trying to prove yourself to somebody, trying to prove yourself to who? Realizing a lot of stuff that like when we were younger, it's like you trying to prove yourself to your friends and all this other stuff. Hey man, when we get to these ages, dog, your friends don't pay your bills. It's great to have friendship. It's great to have relationships, but your friends don't pay your bills. The things that you do, everything that you do that makes you something is what's going to pay your bills and actually take care of you. The Most High power, your God, is going to take care of you no matter what it be. So it's like one of those things that understanding, like, hey, I don't have to prove myself to anybody, and that's what a lot of that comes from. Even you talk about being the youngest, like I'm the youngest in my household. I'm the youngest in my household, but not the youngest of my siblings. I'm the youngest of the sibling I grew up with. So when it comes to it, like my older sister will call me and ask me questions about stuff, and I'm always like, "Why are you calling me? You 3 years older than me. You don't have these experiences." She's like, "Nah." She was like, "Cause you know how to do everything." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I take on that responsibility, but at the same time, I let her know I'm like, "Hey, I'm not always gonna be the one to help you. I'm not always gonna be the one to help you. I'm not always gonna be the one that's there. So at the same time, you better take whatever I do for you, you better take a lesson from it. Because I'm gonna show you how to do the whole process. I'm gonna show you how I go through that whole process. I do with my younger siblings too. Like I'm gonna show you how I do this whole process to where the next time, the only time you'll have to call me is when you hit a bump. And you have to let people know that like there's certain things like I don't expect people to think like me. It happens on my job. Sometimes on your job, you make yourself more important than what you actually want to be. And it's like, even on the job, it's like I'll teach somebody something, be like, "Hey, don't come and ask me this question again. I'm gonna show you how to do it." Like, and that's part. Like, you have to find peace in everything you do it, and also convey that to others to where they understand. Like, I'm not gonna mess up his peace. Like, he's cool. Like, I'm not gonna mess up his daily routine or whatever is going on. So yeah, peace is all of that.
True, true. And like me coming from a totally different perspective, because I'm not the baby, I'm the oldest out of the bunch. So everybody's always coming to me. And sometimes I was like, man, when I was young, I was like, I never understood why my pops like everything gonna be on you. When I'm gone, everything gonna be on you to be the glue. And I'm like, never understood that. But now, as I got into my 30s, and all my brothers and sisters call me, hey, champ, hey, what's going on with this? Hey, let's talk, let's hash it out. And I just give them the best advice I can from my life experiences, so they don't have to bump their head going through those doors. But as DJ was saying, like, I'm gonna show you something, but don't come count on me to show you every single time, because it's I'm gonna teach you so you can do it yourself, so you can pass on this knowledge. And I think that's kind of what my pops is on too. Like, hey, you learn something, you teach it to somebody else, you continue to pass down this knowledge so you can make the younger generation better. And truly just finding your peace, having peace in your home. Hey, sometimes your spouse can be your peace, sometimes your spouse can make you upset. But at the end of the day, your peace is within yourself. You got to let everything be everything, excuse me, and you have to focus on yourself, because you never know. You being happy, being peaceful, being calm, like in the comment was like DJ, you may trip somebody's day. Somebody may be having the worst day of their blanking, blanking life. I don't want to cuss. Their blanking life, and you just been that calm, cool voice. You be like, they be like, dang, thank you. And like, I don't like talking to people, but Sabrina, my wife, she's like, everywhere we go, people just want to talk to you. I don't know what it is. Even here, it's like, I don't even speak the language. They just come and start having random conversations with me for like an hour. I'm like, what is it? But I realize some people look at me and just see a friendly face, or they just see something in me, my aura's giving off, hey, he's cool. Let's go talk to him. And I think that aura and my mentality has allowed me to adapt to many different situations and be a chameleon.
Oh yeah,
Hey, that's well put. And man, even with you saying that, like that, there is clarification. That's like confirmation for ourselves. Like even sometimes like we don't notice the piece specifically within ourselves. Others will always point out to us because you are that type of person that people can come to. Like DJ, I can attest to you as well. Like you are, and even myself, because I'm the same way. Like should people swear up and down, I'm an extrovert. Man, everybody know I'm an introvert. Man, I would be in the house all day long. I go out for probably about an hour and I'm back in. But like within that hour or whatever, or any time I'm around people, like someone has came up to me and just asked me for some type of advice, and I gave them some type of advice, and I see them use it and it help. And sometimes I even like surprise myself, but like, oh, okay, shit, cool, like whatever.
right.
Yeah. But man, I want to show my appreciation to you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of Being the Man. specifically talking about peace. All right. And until next time, look forward to speaking with my audience and also you guys. All right.
Absolutely.